My name is Fatima Maniar, and I am an EdTech demonstrator at Challney High School for Girls. I feel very privileged to be able to participate in this virtual conference and to talk to you about my area of interest, which is blended learning. I'm particularly passionate about this topic, and I hope that by the end of this session, I will raise some interest and excitement about using blended learning as a teaching aid within your lessons. Blended learning has certainly become a buzzword due to the increased use of technology as a result of lockdown. Many teachers were forced to use a range of technology in order to deliver and to continue with the curriculum whilst away from their classroom. The popularity of this method has definitely grown, and there has been growing interest shown in how to use blended learning within the classroom. Blended learning is a term abound with many definitions, but for me, it's about using online tools alongside traditional methods. This can be used in a variety of ways and fits into any teaching style that you have adopted. There's absolutely no need to change the way or style in which you teach. Online tools will hopefully complement the teaching that is already in place. Using blended learning methods have many advantages for a teacher and the students. So for this reason, the right mix of teaching tools in the classroom needs to be carefully selected and used appropriately within the context of your lesson. It's not so much about being online, it is more important about selecting the right tool for the appropriate situation. For me, the start of a lesson is a really important point to start using my blended learning strategy. I always try to use a very simple and easy to use tool. So as soon as the students enter the classroom, I want them to be engaged in their learning. And so the tools I use, again, are simple ones such as Mentimeter or any whiteboard tool that I can, and I try to use something like whiteboard.v is definitely one I particularly use in a way to effectively re-engage students with their learning and set the pace for the lesson. Engagement, therefore, is a key word when it comes to blended learning. Once you have engaged with the students, this sets the pace for the remainder of the lesson. And a clear advantage of using blended learning is that students are able to work at their own pace. And this is really important and develop this sense of confidence and skills using digital tools. In this section of my video, I'm going to look at some of the benefits of blended learning for teachers. So not having to create too many resources, as resources can be time consuming, and when using a blended learning tool can be very easily edited and modified for use in a range of classes. Duplicating resources for personalization. This means that you can just use the same resources, make minor changes based on the classes, and you can reuse those resources again. Self-marking tools, which many of the applications have online. This again reduces time analyzing the data and encourages students to critically reflect on their learning and performance. The ability to share resources with your peers, get instant feedback, and be given information about the resources, thus enabling development and moderation. Range of tools available to use today are great in number, thus enabling teachers to select appropriate tools for their learners, and the increased levels of student engagement and interaction. From my observation, students are always enthusiastic and love using the blended tools within the classroom, and it's also an excellent tool to support memory mastery within our curriculum. Every learning methodology has a mix of benefits and limitations. Making sure we use these tools in an appropriate manner will certainly lead to greater benefits. For those students who lack access to digital devices, they are most likely at risk of falling behind their peers, particularly when they're using these applications remotely. Highly beneficial when used in the classroom, as this gives them the opportunity to learn much needed skills and confidence on using digital tools. Online tools require a high level of literacy. For some students, using the tools without support can cause difficulties. And some of the tools used for blended learning come at a premium. Therefore, where budgets are limited, this can reduce the choice for teachers. In this section, I'm just going to finally give you some examples of how I use blended learning in my lessons. As I've already outlined, an absolutely great way to use blended learning is at the start of the lesson. I use a tool like Mentimeter, where I can pose a number of quick questions and instant responses can be seen. So this is a really quick win. When used mid-lesson, I like to use a tool such as Flipgrid. This is a really good and very quick and efficient tool, thus meaning you can move on to the next stage of your lesson very quickly and still gauge student learning at that stage. Edpuzzle, this is a great tool for flipped learning. I carefully select videos that will prepare students for the next lesson. Using this tool, a range of questions can be added to different sections of the video, and students' responses are then used to gauge their understanding of the topic. Finally, plenaries. I like to use tools which I can instantly get a response from. Many come with leaderboards, thus encouraging students to rise to the challenge. And my favorite tools are quizzes, Kahoot, and Plickers. I hope you found this section informative and helpful. I look forward to answering your questions in the question and answer session. Thank you.